McKinley, and we're burning daylight. Welcome to Burning Daylight, the only podcast for the working cowboy. I don't know. Anyway, but then my dad told me here the other day. He's like, I met somebody from that listens to the podcast, and he's like, I think she works for the so and so, and I forget who he's always telling me about different people at the Capitol, and I was like, huh. And so then yeah, I but like just because of that, like something because you. Did you go to law school or were considering law school or something like that?
I just got accepted yesterday, so
Nice.
yeah, North Dakota.
Nice, Dakota,
Yeah.
eh?
Oh, it's up by the border too. It's way up there.
By the border, don't you know? You're gonna have to relearn how to say road.
Yes.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm not sure whether to be really happy or be really disappointed when I have to hate you later on in life because lawyers you want them, they're absolutely necessary, but gosh, some of the worst people on earth are lawyers.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I think you got a good head on your shoulders, so we'll good luck though. That is a swamp that you're about to step into.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous, but
So, you grew up in Johnstown?
yep, technically Milliken, but
Milliken.
same damn area.
Yeah, and so, and you, so you were, I guess you were probably like junior high, like just starting junior high when I was just starting college. Um, and that was my first presidential election was it was George W. and John Kerry in '04.
Yep.
And and back in those days, Colorado was very much a swing state, but it was a very red leaning swing state. And now I don't know if you can it's like a very reluctant blue state is about how I can classify it. Like it's very basically it's blue, but the people that don't live on the Front Range or Aspen or something like that are very vocal about they're not blue. And
Yep.
it's funny how you can have a blue state, but also Lauren Bobert as a
Oh
as
my
a
gosh.
representative.
I know.
What's your thoughts on her?
Well, I'm a little jaded because I work for Senator Quorum
Mm-hmm.
and Representative Catlin from Montrose. So, like, when she was first running, just kind of like the rumors that I was hearing, just like kind of her campaign style, I didn't really like. But I did like her. I was like, heck yeah, like vocal, cute gal, very pro gun. Like, that's something we need. And I was happy.
She's in the running for hottest congresswoman.
Oh yeah,
sure.
sure.
I'd say like head to head, like just right off the top of my head, it's got to be like Bobert AOC, like for the hotties, like the young hotties of Congress, you know.
Yep. Yep. And they couldn't be more like similar yet polar opposites,
Right. I like AOC is so much like Trump, it's not even funny. But also like couldn't be any further apart. But like the mannerisms and shit, it's weird how I don't know. I don't know those characters in general are they're that'll be a case study for history way down the line. Like
yes.
Somebody 50 years from now can be like, let's look into all of these characters and like what made them so like I don't know about popular, but at least so visible to the I don't know what it about those people that are I don't know. It'll
Yeah.
be interesting. That'll be for years down the line. But yeah. So you graduated from CSU. You went the ag school route, and what? How was your CSU experience?
Um, it was interesting. So I, for reference, was like the last freshman class to have like animal science 101 in like the stock pavilion,
Okay.
because yep, because when I was my first semester was fall 15.
Mm.
And so I was like, okay, cool, that's a bummer. But JBS dumped a ton of money into the animal science
Like a
building,
shitload of money.
and it's
Yeah.
nice.
We're gonna. I titled this episode "In the Weeds" because I I thought I was thinking it was more gonna be on the politics side, but like we can also go in the weeds on CSU as well.
Yes.
And so for people that aren't privy to the CSU lifestyle, well, fuck off. This is not your episode. Um, yeah. So the pavilion, like, cause that's no longer there, right?
No. Yep.
Yeah.
It's so they knocked that down. I mean, we basically Christmas break that year. And I want to say it's like the chemistry building or
Mm.
something. I was on campus like Friday and I was like, wow, like I haven't been gone that long and it's like so different still. Um, but yeah, it's just like I think it's an add-on to like the chemistry building. Um,
Huh.
but what I
Weird.
think is so funny is since I was at CSU for so long, when I was on the seed stock team, like the day of our bull sale was when it was the grand opening of the new addition onto the animal science building.
Mm.
And the protesters and the students were like, I can't believe you're slaughtering animals on campus. And I'm like, we've been doing it like for forever. What are you talking about?
So is this big influx of money also brought all the attention to that's yeah, because the meat lab has been one of like the shining like stars of the ag college for quite some time. Like
Yeah.
not only like the livestock judging team has its moments, but the meat judging team is always like top tier. And yeah, I don't know. That's funny that all of a sudden they brought attention to it. But
Yeah.
I always wondered how that sat with some of the big ag donors that JBS got involved, because they're I don't know. I I don't. It's but I guess it's all Monfort. That
Mhm.
JBS is used to be Monfort, so that's. I mean, it kind of makes sense that they. I don't know. It always makes me wonder how some of those how it sits having a bunch of Brazilians like kind of infiltrating the system for especially for some of the like the old school ag boosters. I wonder.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's hard to gauge. So I was super involved with like student life. And so um like helped out with like ag day. I was part of Sigma Alpha, which was the ag sorority. And so
Yeah.
we were always doing stuff. And like I think what would that have been? 2019's ag day was a little smaller than like previous years. Um, but I mean, it's hard to tell because Nutrien also just gave so much money to the new Shepherdson building too.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so Nutrien has dumped a ton of money into the College of Ag. They got like the Ag Day naming rights. They donated a ton of scholarship money, and then
Huh.
they have naming rights to the new building too. So instead of Shepherdson, it's like the Nutrien Ag Science building or something.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a little,
Don't like that at all.
yeah, a little
Uh,
sketchy, but
Shepherdson was where the computer lab was for the ag college, and I don't know what it was about the ag college in particular, but like you got a shitload of print credits, like for whatever reason, like way more print credits than you would need. and that is how I went on my Man Bear Pig campaign. I printed off 150 color copies of my roommate dressed as Man Bear Pig and like a whole flyer, and I set up a fake email account and everything for it, and not one email. I was really bummed about that, but
That's great.
yeah, that all came from Shepherdson. Shepherdson Hall on second floor was that computer. Well, there was two different computer labs, but like the general one was at the end of the hall on second floor.
I think I had my new member ed classes in there.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah.
Did you have to take like your standard computer classes when like Microsoft Office and like it was all I think maybe that was my freshman sophomore year when we had to do like the general computer classes, and that's when I like started to get the impression that maybe college was kind of a scam because we would show up to the computer lab and then they would just like go to this website and watch this video, and like that was your computer class. Like you'd take it was just like it was all online before online classes were cool,
Yeah.
and I was like, this class is and then like especially later on I was like, that one class cost me like $800 or something like that. And you're like, that I could have paid some site online $50 for the same thing. But it wasn't accredited, like hmm I love CSU. I really enjoyed my time there. I met some of my best friends. I highly recommend, if not like the college itself. I remember I highly recommend living in a college town, like right after high school,
Yeah.
just to get like the true social aspect of college, because that's something you can't replace. I mean, not just the parties and stuff, but like just like I don't know, some of my very best friends I met through college, and so like I can't recommend that enough. But like the actual education is kind of I don't know, especially being in the ag industry. It's hard to recommend a 4-year degree for a lot of folks that just want to go back home and like do what their family's been doing for a long time. It's like I don't know if you need a 4-year degree for
Oh,
that, especially
absolutely.
especially for the price.
Well, and that was my biggest frustration with CSU personally, is so I was a double major animal science and political science. And then I
Oh,
I had a minor in legal studies too. And I originally started out animal science ag lit, but
okay.
I had run for a state FFA office for 2 years in a row. And so the ag ed department was just too much FFA for me. And I was like, I'm done with this. Dropped it, switched it to political science. But animal science was just so unnecessarily hard.
Mm,
And they didn't have, like, my mom went to CSU in the 80s and talks about like how there was a pre-vet track and an industry track.
yeah.
And yeah, there was none of that during my 4 years, 5 years.
Oh,
And so,
really?
yeah,
Yeah, because I did that. There was yeah, because it was industry concentration or science concentration. Science concentration was the like pre-vet, and
yeah.
yeah. So like the industry chemistry, like I know you have listened for a while, but so I'm sure you've heard me talk about it at some point. But my chemistry class for the industry concentration, which also like kind of fueled my anger. It was like we literally had tie dye for a lab. It
Wow.
was C103, which was, you would think C101 would be introductory chemistry, but no, like they had to have a dumbed down class, but it was, like apparently you can't revise the curriculum, so you have to add on, and they're like, oh, this is for the chemistry for dum dums, but it's actually a higher number than the chemistry for non-dum-dums. And yeah, so it was C103 is the class I had to take. But yeah, literally we had a lab that, and I skipped that lab because I was kind of, I was very much anti-hippie back in the day. I'm still kind of not. I'm still not a huge fan of hippies, but a little less anti-hippie than I was in those days. But I was very anti-hippie in those days, um, and I had this Indian lady, Indian lady that she was a grad student that taught the class, and I don't know what the food was that she ate, but you could smell it. And
Oh,
yeah, and she was also pregnant, and I got a weird thing about pregnant women that just like I don't know. I've got two kids, and I still don't like the pregnant belly. Like, yeah, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. And yeah, so long story short, I didn't feel like I needed to go to the tie dye lab for all things compounded. I figured that was a good one to skip.
yo, for
Um,
sure.
but that's yeah, that was the distinction between like pre-vet uh, animal science and just regular old animal science.
Yeah, we didn't have that, and it was terrible. I remember. So my our background is like showing horses,
Mm-hmm.
horse training and stuff. But I've always been interested in like more of the beef industry, like especially like seed stock stuff.
Oh,
And so,
before you, not to interrupt, but like
oh,
what kind of horse shows?
so my mom was a big time horse trainer for the Appaloosa industry until I came
Oh
along.
shit! Like
Yep.
I hate comments already.
Yep. Yeah, I've heard them all too.
I bet.
But so she did that. We did that for a long time. But I got super bored with it. And like my dad worked on a bunch of feedlots growing up, and I wanted to start showing cows, but my mom was like, "No, you have to pick horses or cows." Wasn't gonna tell my mother that. So
Yeah. Well, what's more cutthroat, the show steer or the show horse?
I don't, I think it's like a flip of a coin, man.
I was wondering. Steer jocks are a different breed too, and like horse. All right, so there's horse people like your average ranch cowboy, rodeo like kind of small time rodeo guy, and then there's like horse people, and that's like the show world and like the big time rodeo world and the racers and whatnot, and then there's horsey people,
Yep.
and that's like front range horse people.
Yes.
And those are like your Mustang rescue ladies, and those I would say between them and like the show horse people in the race world, they're on the same level of cutthroat, but the horsey people are just like several times more shrill than
Yes.
than the rest of the horse world. So, um, I'm sure there's probably a couple other categories we missed in there, but that's kind of your broad umbrella picture of the horse world.
That's the breakdown pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. There's some sane people sprinkled in there, but like even in the cowboy world, like I'm especially like the more people I meet from the city and like what they do and like their regular average everyday life, and like you figure there's a lot more people like that out in the world than like what we do, and you're just like, I guess maybe we are a little more insane than we like to let on. like, like you kind of got to be a little bit crazy to even delve into this type of life anymore.
You're absolutely correct, you know?
So, you you decided on the law school route, and that led you to Denver to Capitol Hill, where eventually you ran into my old man, and this whole smorgasbord with Burning Daylight kind of came to a head. What led you to, or how'd you go on to that path? Like, was it something you were just like this will look good for a law school application, or like this something you're really interested in, or you're just like a little bit of both?
Yeah, so since I had the two majors and was not a science mind at all, I always had a pretty heavy poli sci load compared to like animal science load.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only class that I could take that fit with live and dead that semester was a 3 hour legislative politics class.
Oh,
So yeah. Um, and so it was taught by
was Tatum still teaching Live Dead?
no,
No, dang it, you
no.
missed out. Tatum was a hell of a professor.
I'll tell you what, I missed out on a lot of good ones. There was a lot of turnover during my time.
He probably didn't get like I fucked by Dr. Ames either.
Nope, sure didn't.
Um, well, you probably missed out on that too. But hey, you would have got an A. I promise you.
Oh, that's funny. I
Yeah, it's
heard of him, but
yeah, he was a good guy. Don't get me wrong, but or at least so I thought. And then like yeah, the more ladies that I hear that got A's and yeah, it was like that guy kind of was he was a real big dirtbag, but he was I do he was a good professor I think, um, as far as like teaching the class, but rest of it I don't know I don't know a lot of stories they add up after a while.
you're not wrong.
Yeah, so yeah he was cool to me, but I imagine he'd have been a lot cooler if I had a set of boobs.
That tends to help things sometimes, though,
Yeah,
especially in the ag world. And I feel like I can say that.
you know like, a lot more in that whether like or like they're at least like up more upfront about being men in the ag world.
For sure.
And some that could be a good thing, could be a bad thing, but yeah. Especially the like the older guys, man, they were like it was just a lot more acceptable to be a like kind of a pervert back in the day. And I don't mean like a deviant type, but like just to be kind of a dirty old man. Like
Yeah.
it was a lot. Like it's still acceptable once you're like 70 and above nowadays, but it used to be acceptable at like 40. You know,
Yes.
like it's not quite so much anymore. But
Yeah. No, I used to bartend. I bartended for a long time in downtown Loveland.
oh yeah,
And the girls that I worked with would just be like, oh my God, he said this and that. I'm like, what is wrong with that? Like, I have no problem with what he just said. Like,
yeah. Dudes are gonna be dudes, and I don't know. That's why I'm such a free speech guy. Like just because the quicker people get it out in the open, like the quicker you can decide, like, hey, I'm just gonna like not gonna be around that guy. You know,
yeah,
like there, like that was. And from what I understand, like that old Dr. Tatum thing was kind of a rumor that had been around for about 20 years before I was in college too. So
oh
just like,
gosh.
yeah, just like if, it was just kind of a common thing that the ladies knew that if you were kind of struggling in A and P, you could go to office hours and show a little cleavage, and you'd probably go ahead and get that grade bumped up to an A.
That's great.
Yeah, and you know what? I like that. Is it right? No, but at least he's not like, hey, uh, it didn't go any farther than that, from what I understand. It was just kind of a, yeah, it was just like kind of a dirty old man deal. But it was like it didn't go into anything different. So like, yeah, was it right? No, but it could have been way worse. So like thank God, especially like some of the shit that comes out with like the gymnastic coaches and
Oh, for sure.
like yeah, like there was none of that accusations as far as I know. And I was like, so yeah, what still wasn't cool, but given the time, it was probably just kind of standard. I don't know.
More
Men are
acceptable for sure.
men are kind of gross in general.
Well, maybe a little bit.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, like we should probably try to do better than that, but like there's still like I don't know. men are men. It's shit's gonna get, yeah. They'll fuck something up. Promise you that.
Yeah,
um.
yep.
So legislative. What was the class name?
Legislative politics.
Okay. And so how did that go? Like that sounds like that sounds like a now like it sounds like a class I would have dreaded back in the day, but now I feel like I couldn't I like I'd be excited for the next one. You know, like
Yeah.
just I feel like that'd be a good one for me. But anyway, so how did that go for you?
It was a lot of fun. So Professor Strayer was at CSU for like 40 some years, taught for forever. And so I think I was like either his last class or his second to last class.
Mm-hmm.
And he had the CSU in legislative internship program for like 30 some years. And so just hearing his stories was like so much fun. Like he did like a little bit of like textbook curriculum, but it was a lot of like, well, like in this session, this is how this bill went and here's what happened and stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Um
He
and so
sounds a
that
lot like my dad. Like that's
yeah,
how like I kind of want him to get to the meat of the issue, but I love
yes.
like the backstory behind it and like what made it like and like he does a good job of like shaping how like something that seems like really insignificant, like why that's a big deal. And I don't know, like he's a unique character. He has a good way, like he has a very vast knowledge of things, but he has a good way of like boiling it down to something very
Yeah.
very simple and understandable.
Yeah, I love listening to him.
He's yeah, he's something else. Don't let it get to his head too much. He's got a pretty big ego too. So
I remember, I was like, because so our office building was like across the street in the state services building.
mm-hmm.
And so I would just listen to like the ag committees on my computer because I was like, don't touch me, don't talk to me. I don't want to wear a mask. I'll just sit over here and listen. And I was listening. I was like, that sounds like Wes McKinley. And then I
That's
like
awesome.
pulled it up and I like ran over to the Capitol to the old Supreme Court and was like, I've got to meet him.
That's awesome. No, he was tickled to shit about that. He just like he's like, oh hey, and then like now he's like, oh, people actually do listen to your deals. So he's like, oh, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, he likes attention. So the fact that that you knew him and you knew him not from like his previous service, but just from listening to the podcast, that made an even bigger impression on him. And he was like, oh. So,
That's fun.
but it's cool because now every time he comes on, he feels like he has to like dress it up a little bit, so he puts on a little bit more of a show. Um, but hey, he's an entertainer at heart. He's a cowboy. He's been a politician. He's been an activist, but more than anything, he just likes to entertain people. And
That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, he was fun.
he's I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I used to not agree with him on at all, and I've come way more around to his way of thinking. And there's some things that we really diverge on, but even more like I'm just like he's got a point, but he's also just he's more stubborn than I am. Like I'm pretty damn stubborn, but like he'll outweigh you.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's so I don't know. There's something about a guy like good and bad about a guy that just won't give to any. You know, it's like when they're set in stone, they're set in stone, and sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. But I'd rather I don't know. At least you know where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of why I always liked. There's something I always admired about Bernie Sanders. Well, really, until he endorsed Hillary Clinton, that was I was like, I don't know about that, but up until that point, like I don't agree with that guy on much of anything, but I know where he's at, I know where he's coming from, so at least I understand that guy. Like um, I don't know. Anyway, like so then So how did you end up on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, so I applied to that internship program. I had to wait a little bit. I wanted to do it my last semester of college
Mm-hmm.
because I was on the seed stock team, and at one point I was going to try and be on the horse judging team too. And then I was like, something's got to give. I can't
Yeah.
totally kill myself. And so yeah, I started out May or spring 2020. And they ask you like a lot of questions like, do you want to be with like a Republican or a Democrat, which chamber, so on and so forth. I was like, I don't care. I want to be with somebody in ag though.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was really kind of expecting to get with Senator Sonnenberg, just kind of, he's kind of from my neck of the woods. And I was like, that's the only ag guy that I know of. That's probably
Where he's from Milliken, Johnstown area, or
Sterling. So
Sterling?
he's,
Okay,
yep,
okay.
way out there. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, that's right. Like a lot of those eastern districts are only like 30 miles north to south or something like that, but they'll go from state line to Front Range basically.
Yep.
Yeah, uh,
Yep.
yeah, because like I think my dad's old district really was just the southeast corner of Colorado when he was in office, but then it got redistricted, and now it took away part of the like I think it was like Herefino County, and but then it added like Elizabeth or Parker or somewhere up there.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, it was a really weird gerrymandered district.
Well, he's been Walsh.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that district always, like, every time I look at the map, I have to like look down and then like go up because it's like your part of the state or your old part of the state and then over almost to the San Luis Valley and then like up to like Morgan County.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
makes no
It's
sense.
weird. See, so it used to be it was Baca, Bent, Prowers, Otero. Um, I don't think Kiowa was on. I think Kiowa was a different district, but then it was Los Animas and half of Herefino County, and
Gotcha.
then yeah, but then like I think I forget how it's all, but I know there's like some shit right around Denver, like it's either Parker or Elizabeth. I think
I
it's
think it's
maybe.
Elizabeth.
I think yeah. I was gonna say I think it's Elizabeth because I think Parker's its own. Parker is like its own city nowadays. Like it's not just a
Yeah.
suburb. It's wild. Like that Front Range area is something else. Like
Oh, it's insane. Yeah. And everything they've done this year with the redistricting, I'm just like, what in the hell is this? It just like they've split up Johnstown and Milliken. Like I'm in the new 8th congressional district and it's like so just obviously gerrymandered.
yeah. Oh, it's so dumb.
I'm like,
And,
wow.
and like and both sides do it. Like for whatever reason, the Republicans get hammered on it more. And I think maybe they're a little bit more obvious about it. I don't know. But like yeah, every time there's a redistricting battle, it's a shit show, and yeah, you almost like just make it. I don't know. I don't even know how you fix that. It just yeah, it's a dumb thing. So, Sonnenberg was the guy that you wanted to work for, or like that's a guy you knew anyways.
That's just kind of who I assumed I'd end up with. But I ended up with Representative Catlin. And
Okay.
so he's from Montrose,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Republican, I assume.
Republican. Yep, big farmer,
Yeah.
uh, big in the water. He like I think runs a ditch company or like ran a ditch company and then
Hmm.
is super involved in the water users over there.
Yeah.
And so, um,
That water's a huge deal, and I didn't realize how big of a deal it was, even in my part of the world, till my dad really got involved with it.
yeah,
Like we never had any live water, in like in my county really, uh, since I've been alive, and then it's all just been groundwater. So I've always kind of made fun of like the Kansas Colorado deal, the Kansas Nebraska deal, in the west. The western slope's even crazier because
Oh
like
my gosh.
then you're dealing with California and everyone in between, and yeah, it's fucking wild. Yeah, I like um yeah, I imagine you really got kind of thrown into the like in the thick of it with that being in his camp.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
A lot of
Um,
BLM stuff too.
oh my gosh. It's crazy. And I think what was fun at the time is I was taking sheep systems too, that
Mm-hmm.
capstone. And so it was fun to kind of like hear what he was talking about. Um, just like old sheep names and like actually learning about it in like
Yeah,
LaValle's class. Like it was like, oh, this is all kind of coming together nicely.
LaValle was awesome. He was my advisor in the animal science department, and yeah, LaValle was awesome. Like there's a lot of rumors floating around about him too, and most of them probably true. But LaValle was a good dude in my book.
We had lab out at our deck, and obviously we went to the Skeller first.
Oh yeah.
And I had a case of beer in my front seat, and I helped him tear down the lab, and then went to start my pickup, and he had to come jump my pickup, and I was just like, "Hey, here's all this beer right here that I'm not supposed to have. Thanks for jumping my pickup."
That's funny.
It was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah, yeah. LaValle was a good dude. That dude could cook some lamb too. Son
Yeah.
of a bitch, that guy could cook some lamb. Like and so like that I had never had lamb one time in my life until I went to CSU for Ag Day, and then they had that. And that's like that's the trashiest of lamb that you can get because they're serving thousands of people.
Yep.
So like it's good meat, but like they're like it's overcooked and it's made for a bunch of people, but it still was really really good. Like that's how good LaValle was at cooking lamb.
Yeah. I loved him. He was awesome.
Um, what's his? Who was? God, the guy that used to be the head of the alumni association. He was animal science guy. Went to work for Cattle Facts.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking
Fields.
about.
Fields.
Yep.
Was he still there when I take it he was? Because he used to teach AN 101
Yep.
or
So
ANSI 101.
he was not. I had Dr. Peel.
Mm. Dr. Peel's a good dude. I still got his number in my cell phone. I talk to him from time to time.
Nice.
I was on the verge of failing his class, and I went to his office hours. I was like, why did I get this wrong? And he's like, explain it to me. And I explained it to him like why because I had just like a real short answer, and then I explained it to him. He's like, okay, write that next time. I was like, but this also makes sense. He's like, yeah, but you don't get into why. And he's like, that's the whole reason. Oh, damn it. And he's like, yeah, you can't take shortcuts. Well, fuck off. All right, fine. And I ended up getting a C, but like I was on the verge of just like really being fucked in his class. But he's a really cool guy.
Yeah. I always enjoyed him.
Yeah. Um. So what was you were an intern when you first got there,
Yep.
or staffer, or so was that a paid position or?
Nope. Internship. So
Okay.
I was really worried they were going to make me do an ag internship and a political science internship. So
Oh.
since I connected it to ag, it worked itself
Oh,
out.
perfect. Yeah.
So yeah, but we weren't down there very long. I mean, it was like maybe a month and a half, 2 months before COVID and everything.
Mm.
And so,
So you went right from college into this COVID shit
yeah,
on Capitol Hill. That's
yeah,
That's wild.
yeah. It was pretty wild. Because they had the riots down there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
St. George.
So yeah, Catlin's brought me on as an aide kind of when we came back for like, we came back in person for like a week or so.
What is the typical legislative calendars? What, January to May? Is
Yeah.
that right? Yeah. And then the rest of the year, like you're still like if there's committee meetings and stuff, you're still required for that.
Yep.
But like your general legislative sessions from January to May.
Yep. And I think everybody has to be on at least one interim committee.
Yeah, I think so. Like everybody's got to have something to do in the off time,
Yeah.
and they don't get paid a lot. Like I remember when my dad got elected, they had just moved it from 17,000 a year to $30,000 a year, or 34 maybe I think, and I think they've raised it some since then, but they don't make a lot.
No, no, not at all. And I don't think they should
I
either,
don't think so
personally.
either. Yeah, especially now, like they passed some shit like right after my dad got in, but like when he first got in, like the lobby and stuff was wide open. I mean, like
Oh,
they
yeah.
like they would just straight up take people to dinner. Like I remember like drinking scotch at Brown's Palace with some lobby, and my dad's like, I ain't voting shit on here, but I they're giving me prime rib. I'm gonna go. And yeah, it was wild, and then they changed it a little bit, so like they couldn't like directly lobby or something. I forget exactly how it worked, but it was but they really clamped down. But there's still a lot of perks to being a senator or rep, and yeah, there's ways around it, and
Oh, yeah.
yeah, well, so so the intern process, like how did that go before? So like you were still an intern when the pandemic hit.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay,
So it was
so
hard. So we were
you started
CSU.
that January then.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
started like a week after session started, and we were down there Tuesday, Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
And CSU would take us down in a van. And so I, a lot of people like just kind of stopped doing their internship things when
Yeah,
everything shut down.
but you're a real go getter.
I am. Yes. So
It
I kept,
sounds facetious, but I that's a compliment. I
no,
promise.
no, you're good. I get it a lot. But yeah, so I kept doing intern things for Catlin, and then I think they came back in person for like um however you say it, sine die, sine die, however you say
Yeah.
it. Latin's not my strong suit. Um but yeah, they like brought him down for like a week, maybe half a week to like kind of just do closing stuff, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Huh.
So
And
they were still doing committees online and everything. But I think they took like maybe a month off. I don't quite remember.
huh. Well, all right. So what was your like when everything like shut down and the world came to a stop? Like what do you what was your job then?
Yeah, I just kind of helped them with like their newsletters. And so
Okay.
we did one that was like, hey, here's like District 58 information for like COVID. Um, hey, like support local farmers and ranchers, buy local. Hey, the state's opening back up, or like, hey, here's what everything's at.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a lot.
Did have you been involved in any like any legislation that you're particularly proud of since you've been up there?
Not too hands on. There's definitely been some bills that my guys have passed that I've kind of like helped with that are like, cool. Yeah, I kind of helped with that. Um, but not nothing that really stands out.
Yeah. How's it looking? Are the lefties just getting crazier
Yes.
in Denver?
Yes.
And they still keep electing. Like, is that going to change? You think that's Any shift in that coming anytime soon?
Yeah, so there's one race that I'm super interested to see what happens. And I just say this because it's my buddy Jalen, who was an aide pretty much for as long as I was an aide.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like half black, conservative, very pro gun, and he's running against
Basically a
representative,
racist, right?
total racist, right? And he's running against Representative Ortiz, who claims to be bisexual, yet still a Catholic and is a paralyzed veteran. So,
um. Well, does the equipment work? Because I think you can claim anything if it's not in operation, you can claim whatever the hell, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't work, right?
and that's been my question. It's like, how do you know you're bisexual? Like,
I
does
mean,
it?
that's like God's loophole. Like everything else about your life fucking sucks, but you can claim whatever on this issue.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know anything about this guy. I'm sure he's a really nice dude, or lady, or shim, or them, they,
yeah.
whatever. I'm
All the
sure.
pronouns.
I'm sure they're really nice, um, but yeah, it's God's loophole. That's what I'm going with on that. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't put your your social media handles up on. I don't want to get you in trouble now.
Oh, it's okay. I like to post a lot of Facebook rants. My
Yeah.
last one, I actually like tagged Kyle Clark in it, so they already know
Who's
me.
Kyle Clark?
He is on 9 News. Uh,
Oh,
that guy.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So what was the latest deal? What was the rant about?
It was right after the Uvalde shooting,
Okay.
and he comes on and he's like, "We all know the problem. It's guns. Guns are the problem." Like, I was like, "What? No."
Oh, they're. Yeah, a guy like that with a gun is a problem. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Guns are dangerous, without a doubt. They're designed to be dangerous. That's the point of all of it. Yeah. There is no other purpose for a gun than to shoot and kill somebody. Like, yeah, there's training purposes where you don't, uh, but all that is designed to shoot and kill something.
Yes.
That's what a gun is for. Yes, they're dangerous. Are they evil? No. But do evil people have them? Sometimes, yeah. Should we try to keep them out of their hands? Yeah, but also, like, ha, who's to say that? This
Yep.
kid, all of a sudden on his 18th birthday, bought like 10 grand worth of firearms and ammunition and stuff. I mean, could have happened. Apparently it did. I don't know.
Yep.
But I know when I turned 18, I had a pickup that I maybe could have got $750 for. And I think my graduation money was about $1,200, $1,300. I mean, I guess I could have bought a bunch of guns and shot up a school, but I can guarantee you they didn't cross my mind. So like that kid's something different. Like that that's not. I don't know. How do you fix that? I don't have a clue. I honestly I don't have a clue. But getting
Yeah.
rid of the guns is
That's not how you do it.
no. That's how you slide further into authoritarianism. And
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not about that.
I was just so upset that night when I heard that because I'm like, you're a journalist. When I watch the news, I want to listen to the news. I don't want to listen to your little liberal opinion on guns and mental health and then you just being a dick on TV. I don't That's not what I want to listen to.
I know that was like my when Steve Kerr went on his rant. I said Steve Kerr is a phenomenal actor because all right. So what possessed you, an NBA coach, and what most would say your biggest game of the season, seeing how it's in the fucking playoffs, you had to just stop everything about basketball and talk about this thing like nothing that you could have done would have fixed it. And I just like the narcissism to think like all of a sudden people want to hear what I, as an NBA coach, have to say about, or no, from an NBA coach from the most liberal part of California have to say about gun laws in Texas.
Yep.
I don't fucking care what you have to say. I'm sure you're tore up about it. Everybody else is too. I'm sure you are. But I don't care what you have to say. Like, how'd your team do this half? Like, I think it was a halftime interview. Like, how about the game that you're coaching? Like, is it weighing on your mind that much that you have to address it during the halftime speech? Because maybe somebody else should come coach the team for you, and you should go focus your attention elsewhere. I don't know. It sounds harsh, but god damn, I don't care what Steve Kerr, a basketball coach, has to say about a shooting in Texas. I just don't.
Yeah, no, it's I don't know. It's we live in a weird world right now. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, like I don't think anybody has like wants to know what Matt McKinley has to say, and I don't like referring to myself in third person either. Like I point that out. I'm not trying to do that to be a douchebag. Like, but like I don't think anybody cares what I have to say about gun violence in the U.S. either. That's why like I could talk about it for a while, but I don't got any solutions. I don't got any answers, and I sorry about all of it. That's all I got to say. I hate it. I hate it all.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But also, fuck you. I ain't giving up any guns.
No.
Yeah, like I hate it all, but fuck it. You ain't getting my guns. That is my official position.
You should put that on a flag.
Yeah, I know. That's a good bumper. Yeah, hey, I'll give you half credits on that. We'll
Okay.
go if we sell anything, you'll get like $3 or
Sounds like a
something.
plan to me.
Yeah. Um. So that was 2020, and so then like how long did that like do you have contracts for how long you were working there, or do they just like how'd that work?
It just kind of like didn't. I just kind of at the end of the year was like, okay, like I kind of want to go back. I guess maybe I'll look at applying. But I was like trying to figure out with like law school and stuff too. And so I was like, oh yeah, like half a year like during the session, that's a good gig. And so I randomly like found like on Handshake or something that they were like House Republicans were hiring. So I was like, oh, Susan, hey, what's up? And this was like December.
So what's Handshake? I'm going full boomer here.
Yeah, it's like I still don't really know. Um, but it's like LinkedIn for CSU or like LinkedIn for your specific campus.
Oh,
So
huh.
yeah,
All
it's
right.
a
Well,
little weird.
yeah, irrelevant. That's my boomer moment of the day. So um, but anyway, so you went to work for the Republicans,
Yep, yep.
and what was your title there?
So then I became a legislative aide.
Okay.
And so we don't talk about it a lot, but I started out working for Representative Hanks.
I don't know that guy.
Yeah, he is an interesting character. He did your dad serve with Representative Wilson,
Where's Wilson from?
Salida, maybe?
Maybe. I'm not for sure.
Yeah, so Hanks replaced Wilson. Wilson was term limited in 2020.
Okay.
And so,
So
yeah,
let's see. My dad was term limited in 2012, so they he might have came in right as my dad was leaving. So
that sounds about right. Yeah.
okay.
But yeah,
I'll ask him about him though. Like it sounds like a colorful character.
I really enjoyed him. When my internship started, I was with Wilson for like a week. Um, and he's just like, I think he's originally from Kansas. He was like a school principal and superintendent and stuff in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Boom, solid, set in his ways, tells it how it is. I enjoyed him.
Yeah. All right. All
But
right.
Hanks was not like that.
No.
No. Yeah, Hanks, he's a good guy. I think he's got a good heart, but he's a little too far right for me.
Oh, okay.
And so I started working for Senator Simpson too that year, like officially on paper. That session, I should say, last session. And so it was super interesting to like get a little more of the Senate side and
Yeah.
see the differences and just decorums and how things are done and dynamics.
Now, how are the Senate districts laid out? Are you up on that? Because I'm not familiar exactly how that works.
Yeah, so they're definitely a lot bigger. So like Senator Simpson's is I think the biggest one in the state. It's
Yeah.
like southeast corner, so kind of like your neck of the woods, like Baca all the way to for sure Alamosa County.
Gotcha.
uh, yeah, there's a lot of them, and they're still
Yeah.
funky too.
Yeah, but because the representatives, there's a lot, because there's what, like 30 something Senate districts, and then 64 or used to be 64 House districts. So
I think it's 35, 65.
okay, yeah, but
Maybe.
so yeah, but hey, it's weird. Like I don't know, they it's all weird how they district it. Like especially the Senate's. I don't know. It's all weird, but
Very weird.
yeah, and then you realize like just being around that stuff, like how diverse the state really is too. Like and then you like extrapolate that onto like a state like California, which mirrors Colorado quite a little bit, except they have a coastline. And then you
Yeah.
like you like they that Colorado is California without a coastline essentially. And and just how fucking diverse the state is. Like it's a wonder like anything ever got accomplished.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
wild. And now like it's getting well, it's getting easier for Denver to make the decisions for the rest of the state, but that doesn't make it easier for the rest of the state, and that's a lot of those Front Range residents don't realize like how their vote affects the rest of the state. And there's not a lot of them out there anymore, but yeah, it's a sad deal. I don't know where it goes, but I hopefully I keep hoping maybe that people come a little bit more to their senses, and it seems like maybe they are, but I don't know. Maybe you can correct me on it a little bit. Polis was not a good governor. I'll say that right up front. Like he wasn't good, but compared to the rest of the Western U.S. like Democratic governors,
Yeah.
he's by far the best of them. By
Yep.
far. And rural Nevada fared pretty well, because most of the rural counties told the state to fuck off. Um, but like if you gave me a choice of Sisolak over Polis, I'll take Polis. And
Yeah.
I mean it's a hold your nose vote, but yeah, Colorado didn't have it good, but they had it better than the rest of the Western U.S. As far as the liberal governors go. So
Honestly, though, I think his biggest deal is he's just like trying to get a cabinet position or trying to get something. Is he gonna run? Kind of looks like it. I mean, there was
yeah, I know it. And I hate to say it, but like he could be a really good like right leaning Democrat governor. and you know, like he could throw enough of a bone to the West Slope and the Eastern Plains, and still do all the liberal gay bullshit in Denver, and make everybody kind of somewhat happy.
Yeah.
But like he seems like he just like can't help himself but go like too far left.
Yep.
And like I said, like if I had like gun to my head had to pick a governor from the Western Democratic governors, I'd pick Polis. I think he was the best out of all of those. But that's not setting a very high bar.
You
Uh,
know.
and he just seems to like he has to just like every now and then has to go just a little bit too far left where like people are already pissed off at him, get like really fucking pissed at him. Like with that crazy bitch that he wanted to be the state vet.
Oh my gosh. Well, the problem with the little Polish couple is his husband. Especially with all that animal welfare stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so like Kessler and Marlin were besties. And Marlin with that pause initiative that they were trying to put on the ballot last year,
Mm-hmm.
he was like either on the board of that organization or really good buddies with the organization.
Uh,
So it's I have a lot of issues with the first gentleman, who was not the first gentleman until last March. But
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not gonna call him that. That's fuck that. But I will say, like, I just like I don't want to give the guy too much credit because he hasn't been good. But if I had to like push come to shove, I'd pick him over the governor I have currently. But that also is not setting a high bar.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I don't know. Like the state just gets like further and further polarized, and I don't know. Like Weld County is like really the only like power player left outside of like liberal Colorado. Like it's like the rest of the state just kind of teams up with Weld County, but Weld County is the only one that has the biggest set of nuts to throw around in Colorado, and I don't know, like the more and more people go to electric vehicles, like the more and more or the less and less influence you know natural gas and shit has, and I don't know. I wonder what's gonna happen with Colorado. I really do.
me too. I know from what I've heard, it sounds like the Republicans have a pretty good chance to take back the Senate this year, this election.
In Colorado?
Yeah,
No shit.
yeah. And so redistricting really worked out in their favor.
Okay.
And so I'm interested to see. I think that will slow a lot of it down because last year was a terrible year. Or was it
Yeah.
2020? No, last year was terrible. Oh my gosh. And I think rumors from what I've heard is next year is going to be pretty bad too. Um, since it's not a big election year and everybody's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the animal welfare front. They were pretty good this year on not attacking ag as bad as they did last year, but we'll see.
I think that animal welfare shit's gonna. I think more and more that shit's coming to an end. People like meat. That's
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like they don't want a goddamn veggie burger. They don't want a laboratory burger. They want a fucking burger.
Yep.
So like I'm not. I mean I think we gotta stay stay hooked on that deal, but I'm not all that worried about it. Especially that's the beauty of social media, like that whole deal where they were trying to get it on the ballot as a referendum to outlaw basically AI, um, palpation, any of the all of the stupid horse shit. Like that never even made it close to the ballot. But I guarantee you, the Colorado Supreme Court was was reading all the social media responses
Oh, you know it.
as they were making their decision, and yeah, so like, and even though that issue is not quite dead, um, that I think we're in a good spot where like all it takes is somebody like, hey, look at this. These guys are idiots, and shit goes viral, and um, you have a lot of pull at the state and local level. People don't realize that, and the squeaky wheel gets greased, and the ag community is not one to bitch, but we've got to start bitching more, or
Yeah,
we're gonna get run over, like
absolutely.
that we have for a long time, and you don't have to bitch for help. You just gotta like bitch when your rights are trampled on. Like that's what it takes. It's like, hey, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. And a lot of times, if enough people stand up, they're like, all right, well, all right, fine, you can't do that.
I think I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see kind of what pans out from that. I think with the pause initiative, they were kind of trying to like flex their muscle and see if they were going to get away with it, or which one would they have a better chance of getting away with. The slaughter thing's not going to happen. That's not realistic when you've got JBS and Cargill and everybody here.
Yeah. Well, Montfort was like, I mean, that's a cornerstone of the American beef packing industry. Like
Yeah,
they were the only ones like outside of Omaha and Kansas City and Chicago. It was Montfort's. They're in Greeley, and like they're not going anywhere. Like
no,
and they're really, as much as I hate the Packers, like they're the biggest thing rooting Colorado in agriculture is the packing industry, and
absolutely.
and and it pains me to say that. So like as much as I hate those sons of bitches, like you still gotta keep them operational.
Yeah.
Like you gotta keep them honest, but like you can't bankrupt them.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if something similar to like the AI section of that ballot initiative comes back next year,
Yeah.
but as a bill, not as a ballot initiative.
Oh, okay.
I know, and on the flip side of that, this year the Democrats from Boulder um, ran a bill trying to outlaw the hunting of mountain lions and bobcats and lynx. And literally everybody except one sponsor took their names off of it because people were so upset.
No
And so
shit.
I think that might come back as a ballot initiative next year too.
Huh.
So it'll be interesting.
We'll have to stay in touch and like keep people updated on that deal. So um yeah, because that's one of those things, they can sneak that shit by on a ballot initiative pretty easy. And especially with some fancy wording where it sounds really good.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be something to keep an eye on. So where are you headed from here? Like you're going to law school. Are you gonna continue to work down on the hill, or are you going just like right into the books?
I don't quite know yet. Um, I have to probably figure it out pretty quick. um, I've been toying with the idea of like still staying down at the Capitol, but staying on the Senate side, especially like if the Republicans take back the majority.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be super cool to see and experience. Um, but I also really am trying to get like a policy job that's like ideally gonna like lead to lobbying.
Okay.
I think probably my end goal is to start like an ag lobbying firm and have like a water guy, a livestock guy, kind of all of the facets. So, or I'm going to go to law school. I don't know yet, but it'll all at some point come back to like ag policy.
Right
Uh,
on. Well, I think
so,
that's important though. I mean, well, not that I think, but I know that's important, and so it's good to see that, and yeah, and also like stay hooked because like you're diving headfirst into the swamp, and it's a
Yeah,
swamp everywhere. Um, yeah, and it's one of those things. Just like you can't jump in the swamp without coming out a little bit swampy, and you're just like oh, I like keep your head on your shoulders, you know.
for sure. Yeah,
Remember where you come from because that's yeah, that lobbying's a dirty fucking business. Yeah,
yeah,
you know it firsthand, and I know it, you know, first and a half hand. I wouldn't say second hand. I was present for some of that shit, but I wasn't party to it, and yeah, like that stuff's dirty, and it's so yeah, good luck to you on that. I like you got to have good people in those positions, but man, yeah, be careful.
yeah. It's a lot, but last year, like I love the ag lobby and I love everybody, but it's just like some point we gotta like stand up a little stronger, and I don't know if that comes from like organizations like Farm Bureau and Cattlemen's or
Oh,
where it comes
yeah,
from.
I'm so over associations
Me too.
because they've just done fucking nothing. It's the same way I feel with political parties, and I feel the same way. Like I'm a registered actual card carrying member of the Libertarian Party, and I feel the same way about them as I do the Democrats and the Republicans. I think they're all a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm just disgusted by the whole process, and but at the same time, like I don't even want to get involved because I don't want like more than anything, I don't want my family drugged through the mud just so I can get a job that doesn't pay as well as I got right now and with a lot more headache, you
Yeah,
know.
for sure.
And so like it just like there's a reason politics attracts a certain type of people, and oh, they're gross.
Did you end up making it to like the Libertarian convention?
I didn't make it to the convention. I went to the comedy show and the podcast for Dave Smith, and but I got a pretty good vibe. The like that Mises Caucus swept everything there at the convention, and there was some fights and whatnot, like you know, like metaphorical fights, one literal fights. The former president did like pull a soccer foul and it was like, hey, he brushed me, security. Um, but so there was some drama that went on, but for the most part, Dave Smith's crew like cleaned house, and so like I'm really intrigued to see what like the Libertarian National Party brings to the table now. Like now that and they changed their platform, like they took all the social justice bullshit out.
Nice.
Uh, they took the pro-choice plank out, and they didn't replace it with pro-life. They just left it blank. And there's several other deals where they're just like, no, we're not getting into the bullshit of the culture wars. We're getting into like, no, you can't lock people down. You can't do this. We are shrinking the size of government, and apparently they're focusing on city council, county commissioners, and school board. So
Nice.
I'm intrigued to see where it turns out. 2024 is shaping up to be a fucking crazy year in politics.
Yeah.
And I don't like. I think 2022 is going to be a big year for the Republicans, but they're going to do nothing with it like they always do.
Exactly.
And so 2024, I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't.
Well, I hope the Libertarians like definitely get some growth.
I hope. I don't think they're ever going to be a majority party ever,
Yeah.
but I'd like to see them get 15-20% here and there,
Yeah.
and keep the Democrat and the Republican candidates honest at the very least. Like be able to call their bullshit and be able to like, hey, I can swing this election, and so it'd make your Democrat candidates better. It'd make your Republican candidates better, and and hopefully like you just like keep building the local base, and pretty soon Libertarian's going to be like you know either Republican or Democrat's going to be the third party, and I hope that's the that's a long term goal,
Yeah.
um, but I really wish I would have made it there. It just god damn the inflation and the gas prices. It has cut a lot into the paycheck here the last couple months. Like like I knew it was coming, but like it doesn't hit until it hits, and then you're just
Yeah.
like, fuck. I put $150 in the tank, and I'm not even full.
Yeah.
Like just a couple months ago, it was 45. You know, oh,
Yeah.
it's just like god damn that shit that hits you. So we didn't make it over, but like there was a definite energy around everything at those comedy shows, and that, I really wasn't even all that impressed, particularly with like the live podcast because it was just too much inside baseball. Um, but you could feel the energy, like the nerdiest fucking group of people I've ever seen in my life, though. Like, so much autism.
That's funny. I love that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like when I'm arguably the one of the coolest people there. That's that's yeah. There was a lot of just like really shifty, nervous guys floating around, but it was cool. But there was definite energy, and yeah, interested to see uh, how they push the message from here on out. But they did. There was a clean sweep, and um, yeah, there was a lot of autistic energy behind it. So whether
That's
that
great.
whether that translates to anything big, I don't know.
I love that.
But well, let's see. Where do you? We'll go a little bit more if you got I don't know, like another half hour. We'll do a Patreon only segment just for the CSU nerds. Like we'll delve into like the good bar stops and whatnot. But before that, what do you how do you see Colorado going, and like how do you see this? I don't think we're talking about it enough, but this like wheat shortage in Ukraine is going to be a big freaking deal come this fall. Um, and Eastern Colorado is a big wheat producing part of the country, and there's no rain. Like
Yeah, there's none.
yeah, like the wheat crop is not good, and yeah, like we might have like a real food shortage here pretty quick, and I don't know if we're prepared for that. How's is there any sort of alarm like from the governor's office and on down, or like it's just business as normal?
There's none. The most that I'm hearing, one of my girlfriends works at the grain elevator in Eads or
Mm-hmm.
Wiley, one of the two.
Yeah,
I get them all confused down there.
yeah. Well, Eads and Wiley, there's no need to really remember anything about them. They're on 287. That's about it.
Yeah. Um, I get most of my information on that from her, and she's just like, it's crazy, like that nobody's talking about this. Like everybody's pretty scared. I mean, there's no water, fertilizer's out the roof, but
Yeah.
I mean, your dry land guys are just kind of like, shit,
Right.
what do I
Well,
do?
this is what my dad's been saying too. Is like it's not getting wetter, and they just keep pumping more and more water out, and it's for the wrong fucking crops. Like now we need
Yeah.
wheat. Like we don't need corn, we don't need soybeans, we need wheat right now because
Yeah.
like there might be a famine in Eastern Europe by the end of the year,
Yep.
and yeah, that like I don't know, like oh, like I'm sure you're like where you grew up. That was kind of on the northern edge of the Dust Bowl, but like I'm sure like you grew up hearing those stories of like when times got real tough. Like yeah, yeah, I think we're coming back to that, and now like I've been so far into this Dust Bowl research here lately, but like the big deal behind all of it, like not only did they want to settle the Great Plains, but Russia was at war and also at civil war, so
Interesting.
the wheat crop didn't get harvested during World War One, and there was a big push and that's when they plowed up the Great Plains, and it was a farmers market the whole time until the war ended, and they didn't need all like, and then Russia and Ukraine started producing wheat again, um, and then they just like piled wheat up next to the railroad tracks, and it rotted there. Um, and that was all leading up to the 30s when the drought hit, and yeah, it was a bad deal. And now like we don't even have we don't have the Great Plains, which was never plowed before. We don't have that. Like it's all been plowed before, and it's been irrigated for 80 years, and there's nothing there. Like so we can't even ramp up production. So like it like that like there could be a legit famine in Europe this winter, and we won't feel it. I don't think. I think we're good enough here. We're isolated enough, but like there's gonna be shortages. Like we won't have the starvation type shit, but like Europe, especially Eastern Europe, they might.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um, Now I know for like kind of my neck of the woods up here, it's not as much of like the drought that's the problem, is the fact that they're developing all the freaking good farm ground.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah,
And
and they're paying like four or five times over market price for it,
yeah,
and then yeah, and then selling the water rights to Denver or Westminster or whoever the fuck else that needs them, and
yeah,
yeah,
no, it's crazy. And I mean, I understand like why they're freaking out, but it's like you don't need to be watering your lawns,
no,
you know?
no, like you don't. It doesn't. If everybody's lawn is brown, what makes yours any worse? Like
Exactly.
just know that like it's a tough year and everybody's lawn's gonna be brown. It's gonna suck. You might have to work harder next year when it finally rains, but that's how it is. Like we need water to survive.
Yep. So,
Fuck fuck your lawn, Fuck your
yep.
golf course, like suck it up if you don't get the PGA Tour this year. I don't care, but like no, we don't have the water. Like that's the thing. You just like there's certain things where you can only stretch them so thin, but like what we're on the verge of turning the Great Plains into the Sahara. Just
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
like that, the Sahara used to be a like a tropical paradise, and now it's the biggest desert in the world, and yeah, we're literally on the verge of turning the Great American Desert into a literal Great American Desert, and I don't even know where we start.
For sure. I mean, yeah, your livestock got to have vegetation to eat, and vegetation needs water to grow. And
Yeah, I know. If there wasn't a clearer sign for God to say like, "Hey, you shouldn't have put a plow here," I don't know what there is.
yeah,
Just let the grass grow.
what a concept.
Yeah, I know. It's wild. Um, Anyway, this has been a fun conversation. I enjoyed the shit out of it. But yeah, we'll do a CSU only episode here for the Patreon. But you got anywhere you want people to follow you, or are you good?
I mean, my Instagram's pretty much the only exciting thing. So,
All right, where they find you?
it's Regan OD_97.
All right, I think. Hold on, just a second. Where's my mouse? I got it pulled up. Not your page, but I got your handle. There we go. All right, Regan OD_97. Well, I appreciate your time. Um, Sounds like you're doing good work out there. I hope the best for you. You're entering a really stinky world. So
Yeah.
good luck. Good luck. But
I'm gonna need all the thoughts and prayers I can get for sure.
yeah, for sure. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and you want to sign us off?
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Move your ass for burning daylight.
Boom. I like it. I like it. All right.
You rise up in the morning beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horses kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. We'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Well, life is just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight.
Um, where where did you live in the dorms?
I did not live in the dorms.
No way. You just commuted from home?
I did.
Oh, okay.
I was like 2 miles in the radius for that. And I was like, I'm not spending the extra money to live in the dorms.
Good call. That cost a lot. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. I won't say it wasn't worth it, but yeah, it was expensive.
Yeah, but I got pretty lucky. One of my girlfriends, like her roommate like moved out at like break or like in the fall semester. So when I needed to crash, I would just crash with her. Like it worked out
Nice.
beautifully.
Nice. Where did she live at?
Parmalee.
That was my Parm farm. Which hall?
No idea.
No. Oh, okay. I was too northeast.
That was a long time ago. I don't know.
Yeah. I wouldn't have. like I don't. I've partied in several other dorms, and I don't know which hall it is, but I know where I lived anyway. So,
You
um,
remember Aylesworth?
yeah,
They knocked Aylesworth down for more dorms.
no shit.
Yep.
I think I knew that. Aylesworth was like just north of the student center, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, they had they had a really shitty cafeteria when I was there. Like and so like they were like winding it down to be obsolete. So like there was I think it was only engineering students that lived there, and
Interesting.
yeah, engineering students are fucking nerds. Like
That's true.
you don't see them. Like every now and then you'll see an engineering guy at a party, and you're like, oh hey, I thought you were dead, you know. But they no, like oh I've just been studying since May.
Yep.
um.
Yep.
All right, so all right, let's talk student center. Because I know it got a little bit bigger because they don't the buses pull right into the student center nowadays?
Pretty, yeah, I would say yeah.
Because they used to like you'd have they had like a little I don't know what maybe a like a rotunda I think you would call it maybe I don't know like there was like a little bit of a buffer between like the actual student center building and then like where the buses were and then there was like 3 lanes. But I think when I was leaving they were like building an overhang so that the buses would just pull right in.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, that like they were just building that when I got there. Worst place for a parking ticket.
Oh, I believe it. Over
Um,
there.
yeah, yeah. The student center parking lot was that was the worst. Like, it was better if you weren't afraid to walk a little bit and like park a little bit farther out. They would like sometimes you get lazy fuckers that would just only go like half the way up and then. So if you parked way at the top, they wouldn't ticket you. But yeah, those fuckers. That was the worst type of people the ones that gave out parking tickets.
Let me tell you what. I got so many parking tickets and I fought every single one of them. Like
Oh
tooth and
no
nail.
shit.
Oh yeah. I mean,
That's
I
why you
ended up
went to
having
law
to pay
school.
like half of them, but
Hey, that's all right. Hey, you win some,
oh,
you lose some. As long as you win a little bit, I'm good. Like the more money, more of your own money that you can claw back from the government, I'm all about it.
I think my favorite one is I don't have like my license plate mounted on like the front. It's just like in my windshield.
Mm,
And I was walking back from class. I was like, "Can I help you? Like, what's your deal?" And he was like, "Oh, since like your license plate's in your windshield, I have to get out to move it or to see it." And I said, "Okay, but like you're giving me a parking ticket?" And he was like, "No." I said, "Okay, like if we move it this way, can you see it like on your camera? Because it's like a car that like drives around and picks up
oh,
the license plates."
it's gonna be a robot before we know it.
Oh yeah. And so literally after that, every fucking day, I got a parking ticket for my license plate being in my windshield. I was
No
like,
shit.
are you
You
kidding me?
sons of bitches. Fuck those
Every
guys.
damn day.
The worst people on earth. Park meter maids. Fuck them. Fuck them
And
all.
I
I
had
don't even
that
care
poor
if
girl
you're
in
listening
tears.
right now. Fuck you.
Terrible. I was
Terrible
so
people.
mad.
All right. So let's say it's 6 o'clock in the evening, and you've been at the Ramskeller for an hour, maybe two, and you're getting just primed up for a night on Fort Collins. Where are you headed after the Ramskeller?
It depends on which night of the week it is.
Okay. Do go on.
If it's a Wednesday, Celtic night at Lucky Joe's.
Okay.
If it's a
I like
Thursday,
Lucky Joe's.
Ram Band. And after the Skeller, we go home, we take a nap, we drink some water, then we go to Ram Band.
Where's Ram Band?
So it was so much fun. You get a wristband for $10. and it was free drinks at the Yeti, Rec Room, and the Monkey.
I like the sound of it, but I don't know any of those bars. So the Yeti, the Monkey, and the Rec Room.
Yep. So Drunken Monkey isn't there anymore.
Okay, I know Drunken Monkey.
Yeah. So it's like I haven't been there because it opened in like 2020 and I haven't really been back
Okay.
for Fort Collins bars. But it's like 3 different bars in one. I guess they kind of have like a country floor or something.
Oh.
Yeah.
Drunken Monkey?
Yeah.
Huh.
Kind of redid it kind of fun, it sounds like.
Oh, okay. Because they did have an upstairs deal. All right. Funny, yeah. Drunken Monkey was, instead of bar stools, they had rope swings, and yeah, there was a lot of funny shit that happened before video on cell phones happened. Yeah, that I graduated the semester after the first iPhone came out, so like most of my college career was pretty safe, but we also had Facebook started my freshman year. So like I think it was second semester freshman year is when CSU got the Facebook.
Interesting.
And, yeah. So I was literally like the first generation social media. And yeah, there's like I went back through some of my old Facebook pictures and I was like, oh, I'm glad like most people don't just dig that far back. It's yeah, you go back to like 2006 and you're like, ooh, that wouldn't fly today, you know?
Yeah. I think people do that though. Like I felt so bad for like Kavanaugh, and I think about that a lot.
Oh, I know.
I've
And
not been an
probably
angel.
not a very cool guy, but also like that was out of line.
Yeah.
Like way out of line. No, he might be a real douchebag, but that was way out of line.
Yeah, because I'll tell you what, I have not been an angel, especially at the bars. And I'm like, oh, what is out there that I don't know? This is gonna come back to bite me in the ass.
All right, well, we're gonna wait till the end of the episode, and we're once you get into like another couple White Claws, and we'll have your deepest, darkest secrets out here. But it's only on Patreon.
I need to get on Patreon. I haven't done it yet.
I could use your financial support. I'm once again asking for your financial support.
I don't know, Spotify gets my $10. I don't have commercials.
Yeah, I know.
I have all of my podcasts.
I'm seriously considering just going to like my only commercial being like an ad to sign up for Patreon. And
yeah.
I don't know. They're like I don't know. It's tough. People even people that listen to the podcast and enjoy the podcast, they're like, there's sometimes some of the stuff you say I don't want to be like. I want to be like, nobody cares about that anymore, but then you see somebody getting canceled for something stupid, and you're like, I mean, I kind of get it.
Yeah.
But also, so I don't know. I think that the best way to go forward is like, if you like my shit, here's how you can contribute. And yeah, I don't know. It's a weird deal. People got real fucking sensitive over the last 15 years.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah. All right. So, was Sundance still a big thing when you were in college?
Yes and no. So
Tuesdays only?
Yeah. And I had a fake ID for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
And that's like the only place I used it was 25-cent drink night.
I had a legal fake ID.
Did you?
I really did. I was adopted when I was 13, and so during all that process, I had to get like a new Social Security, birth certificate, all that shit. So when they made my new birth certificate, they kept my birth year, 1985, but instead of my birthday, um, they put it my adoption day. So it
Nice.
changed my birthday from October 30th, 1985 to February 26th, 1985. And so I had two 21st birthdays all in college, and they were awesome. They sucked so bad the next day, but I I was able to get into bars scot free for 8 months early, and I don't wish two 21st birthdays on anybody because that was awful. Like it was fun, but it was awful. But having that like 8 months of freedom when your buddies didn't, it was so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I spent so much money unnecessarily. Like it'd been way cheaper for me to go to house parties, but the fact that I could go to the bars and they couldn't, that was awesome.
Yeah, I house parties were fun and all, but bars were always more my scene.
I did enjoy the bars. You had to have a good pregame going into the bar though. Like
Yes.
you had to have like that optimal level of drunk going into the night so that you could like keep a good level of buzz going and not be incredibly broke the next day. Because
Yep.
Old Town gets pretty spendy pretty quick.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So all right, you're leaving the Ramskeller. Where did you go eat at?
Oh, to eat? I really like Mojo's. Mojo's was just kind of my hangout.
Mojo. That used to be Sullivan's, right? Right there on College and Mulberry, right? No, not Mulberry. City Park.
Yeah.
City Park.
By
City
the
Park and
ADR house, kind of.
yeah. Not no. College was up there by. Yeah, College is way off. It's Elizabeth is there by Moby, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Elizabeth and City Park.
Elizabeth and City Park. Yeah, it used to be called Sullivan's. That's right. Like
Gotcha.
the year after I graduated, they named it the Mojos. Yeah, that was a good bar. I like.
That was Bloody Marys, that was lunch, that was penny beers, it was everything.
What and that was frat central too. So like that, like,
Yes.
because there was like 4 frat houses within walking distance from there,
Yep.
like easy walking distance. There was like 8 frat houses from like 30 minutes walking distance.
Yep.
Yeah. And you were Sigma Alpha, you said?
I was.
Yeah, I dated a gal that was in Sigma Alpha. It was a weird little, like they're a sorority but didn't live together.
It's, let me tell you what. I got tricked into Sigma Alpha. I did not know it was a sorority. I was pretty blind. My friend that I've like known for forever that was a couple years older than me from like just like Fair and Weld County and shit. She was like, "Professional women in ag. You will love it. Come to this meeting." And I was like, "Cool." And then I was like, "Oh, this is kind of cool," but I wasn't really paying attention. And then we had our initiation in the stock pavilion, and I was like, "Did I just join a fucking sorority?"
You joined a cult.
And it was, let me tell you, I was president, I was new member ed, I was first vice. Now I'm like alumni president. I'm like, I wish I joined like an actual sorority, but at the same time,
Did they have the office in the bottom of the Lori Student Center when you were there?
the Greek life office.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, it was in the basement of the Lori Student Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had sex in that office.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, I won't say with who because that's they listen to this show. So, but anyway, yeah, it was fun. Yeah, that was I've heard a lot of different gals have like that same dealers like oh, it's a professional ag deal, and they're like, oh, son of a bitch, we have a formal now.
Yeah. Yeah. It was fun. And I mean, it was really good for a lot of gals who were like, a lot of our membership was like, oh, like I'm pre-vet. And then they're like, oh shit, I can't get into vet school. Now what with this animal science degree? So it's helped a lot of those girls, but I don't know. It was still not my jam. Trying to
Yeah.
make it better still.
Yeah, I don't know. I've got zero feelings either way. I know plenty of gals that were in Sigma Alpha, and like, yeah, it was a sorority, but not at the same time. It was kind of funny. Um, all right, so you go eat at Mojo. If you're going to Old Town, where's your jam? Back in your day.
I don't know. I didn't spend a lot of time in Old Town unless it was like Celtic night or Ram Band night.
Oh, really? Wait, because was it too hipster in Old Town or what?
Too busy, too
Oh,
packed.
okay.
Yeah, and so when I lived in Fort Collins, my house was right across from the Equine Center on Overland.
Okay.
So like right there. So then we would go to Old Town a little more, but I mean the lines were always like so long and just like shit.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Old Town was. It's looking back on it now. I'm just like, man, we should have just went to house parties so much
Yeah.
more. But like it would have been so much cheaper. But I don't know. That was the thing. Like you could go to the bar, so you did. And yeah, but there was the bull sale still a big party when you were there?
No.
No?
That makes me sad to know it was a party.
Oh, dude, bull sale party was like, yeah, bull sale party was a thing.
What the hell?
Yeah, out at Ardek. Like that was a huge thing. Like after bull sale, there was a massive like I saw plenty of people try to roll a riding lawnmower at the bull sale party at Ardek.
Nice.
Yeah, like that was a thing. That was like the kickoff. Uh, huh.
That's
lame.
sad.
That's super sad.
I spent so much time out at RDEC on the seed stock team too, trying to put on that damn bull sale.
And there was no bull sale party.
There was no bull sale party.
It was whoever lived in the Ardek house like hosted the bull sale party. But like that was almost a sanctioned thing. Like that was almost like blessed by CSU itself.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean that was just a thing. Like everybody knew though. Like yeah, bull sale party. Huh.
Damn.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, Colorado got so lame. Damn
It did. It did.
All right. Well, what was your favorite bar in Fort Collins? Like, all around favorite bar.
Probably Lucky Joe's.
I liked Lucky Joe's.
Yeah, Lucky Joe's and Tony's.
Has not changed.
No.
I was last time I was there. I mean, and it's been a minute, but like I could tell that like it wasn't going to change. Like they're like fuck your peanut allergies. we got hundreds of pounds of peanuts for you to eat for free. For some reason, we serve Texas beer. And proudly, and then it's like, and it's gonna be way too crowded to get a drink at the bar when we're full. Like for whatever reason, we have this weird divider wall that just makes everybody so uncomfortable. But whatever, we're not taking it out. Fuck you. Like I just like Lucky Joe's has not changed since the first time I was in there in 2004. And I think the last time I was in there was in like 2019. So like it has, it's been fairly recent, like pandemic recent.
Yeah, no, it hasn't changed much. I haven't been up there in a hot minute. Maybe last summer.
Yeah.
Hadn't changed.
Go to like after bar food. when you were there?
The Euro truck.
Euro. Those were such shitty Euros if you ever ate them sober.
They were, but
Yeah,
they did the job.
but when you were drunk, they were awesome. Yeah, but I had one midday when I was stone sober, and I was like, this is trash, you know. um. All right, so breakfast. Where's the go-to breakfast?
We would always go to Butters and get a mimosa tower.
Butters. Where's that at? I don't know that one.
It's right across from where Mojo's is at, so same kind of
Okay.
area.
Okay. That used to be like what was that place? It was like Mexicali, something like Tacos Mexicali or something like that. Um, our deal was so there was the egg and I was big. I was never a big egg and I fan, and then there was Lucille's, and there was Farmer's Table. Farmer's Table was the ag kid place to go. Table also tried to be a vegan restaurant at some point, and that didn't work very well. That was after my time, but yeah, Farmer's Table was the hangover place.
I don't think I never made it to Lucille's, which was just like sacrilege. And then yeah, the egg and I's were just like super big in like Loveland and like Windsor and Fort Collins.
Yeah.
So, like that was like I'm not gonna be in Fort Collins and go there.
Yeah, I don't know. It was okay, but like I never understood why, like, because it was a chain restaurant too, and like, but there were people that would take like a hometown restaurant over to that one, and you're like, and that was never the vibe of Fort Collins. Like they're always about their hometown. Like, did you ever go to Jim's Wings? Is that still a
Oh
thing?
yeah. Yeah.
Jim's best wings on earth. I swear to God. And they've only got one location. It's right there, Elizabeth and whatever, Shields. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And like just I don't know. It's been the same thing for like 50 years now, and like if that place closes, like Fort Collins is truly dead. I think. Or that or the town pump. If the town pump
Yes.
closes, like I don't know what it is about that place. It is so fucking crowded. Like 7 people in there and it's crowded, but like somehow they'll put like what is the capacity? It's like 75 or something like that, and you're just like I taste everybody's sweat. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that bar. Yeah, that was another one of my favorites.
Yeah, it was such a weird bar, but there was nobody, or they were like filled to capacity, and it was not a good bar to be filled to capacity.
No.
It was so close quarters. What was the most rapey bar in Fort Collins in your day?
Oh. Probably Rec Room.
All right. So where was Rec Room at?
Was there like an upstairs and downstairs bar when you were there? Same building?
Where about?
On the square.
In Old Town?
Yeah.
Yes. So it was like a rooftop bar, and then like a pretty big downstairs bar, or was it like a main level and a basement?
Main level and basement.
And it was where's the cross streets? College and
I have no idea. I've never paid that much attention.
I was gonna say, okay.
Probably it's like, was Bondi there?
No, I don't know Bondi.
Okay. It's like just down from like if you're going like Lucky Joe's, and then there's something, and there's like a sidewalk, and then there's this place.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I know. All right. So I know the area. I can't think of what that place used to be. But anyway, irrelevant. All right. So what happened from there?
It's just it doesn't open until like 10 or 11. And
Oh,
so and the line's always super long. And then it's like
huh.
packed and it's just weird vibes.
Yeah. You just like you just you go in expecting to get groped at some point.
Exactly.
Uh, I'm so glad I'm not a lady. Really, like yeah. I'm really glad I'm not a chick.
Yeah.
uh,
It
well,
just kind of happens.
cheers for you. You at least like you guys got boobs to play with, so that's I mean that's fun at least. Outside of
It
that,
is fun.
yeah.
I enjoy them.
There you go. There you go. Everybody does. Everybody likes boobs. Um. All right. So, what was like rodeo weekend at Sundance still a big thing when you were there?
Kind of.
Yeah.
So when I think I was probably a sophomore, it was after my fake ID got busted at Sundance and I hadn't been there for a bit.
Mm,
There was two kids that got smoked and killed on Mulberry.
no shit.
Yeah. And so they totally shut down 25-cent drink night and like Sundance was closed down for a bit.
How did they hang on? Like that's all they had.
Yeah.
They had
Oh
that
no.
and rodeo weekend. That was it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was like 7 people on Square Dance night, but other than that, it was it was Tuesday nights and rodeo weekend. That's all they had.
Yeah. So that was kind of a bummer. Like we would all like pregame for AGR parties by like going to Sundance.
Mm.
And so when that kind of slowed down and then came back a little bit. I'm trying to think. It was yeah, it came back a little bit in like 2018, 2019, but not how it was like when I was a freshman. Like rodeo weekend was a party my freshman year.
Yeah. Huh. That yeah. That's crazy. Um. Yeah, but Sundance is really is a one trick pony. I mean, it's rodeo weekend and Tuesday night, and but hey, what's Chancey Williams? They used to play the Sundance all the fucking time when I was in college.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Like I've met Chancey Williams many a times, but like they're yeah, like they played the Sundance
I
pretty
just saw
regularly.
Flatland up there not long ago.
Oh yeah.
I was fucking hammered. Don't
Is
remember much,
uh
but
is Mishawaka still a deal?
it is, yeah.
Yeah. That that
Barely.
that's a I bet the pandemic hurt that a bunch.
Well, the fire almost got it.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
it was
Oh.
close. We went and got lunch up there. Like after I forget, it was at the High Park fire, maybe. I don't remember. But the burn scar was like damn close. We were like, damn.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really if you don't have like green trees there, it's a pretty ugly place. That sucks. Yeah.
But they've had like shows like every day. Like it seems
Nice.
like it's still pretty popular. So
All right, I'm putting you on this. Like we're doing Burning Daylight podcast at the swing station.
I am so down. Swing Station was another bar I was always at.
I love the swing station, and I wasn't there much, but that like I love the swing station.
That was like a 10-minute drive from my house. So we were there like all the time.
Major Boddicker lived in Laporte, and like that's one of my favorite guys on earth. Like like another guy. Like if I call him, I just block off an hour at least.
Yeah.
I just we're gonna bullshit. But he lived up in Laporte, and I drove by the swing station so many times going to work, but I was only in there like 3 or 4 times. But I love that little place, and I think like that's a good place to do a live bull session. Like I don't
Oh,
know if we have any
absolutely.
music or anything, but just shoot the shit and tell jokes and you know funny stories and dirty jokes like that. That's what we do, and I think that'd be a good place to do it. So anyway,
Absolutely.
I'll keep you updated. But like anytime I'm in the area, I'm putting you on it to book us there.
Let me know.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. I don't have the connection anymore, but like I know people. I know people now. That's one of the cool things about politics is like even though my dad he doesn't really hold any sway within the government anymore, but he knows so many people just for like he was up there for 8 years and like god damn he knows a lot of different people
Oh
and
yeah.
like it's funny so like yeah like be paying attention like writing people down because like you'll 10 years from now you'll be like oh I knew that guy and that'll yeah it'll that's one of the things about my dad being up there just like I'll ask him like I'll see something on the news and he's like oh yeah I knew that guy back when he was an aide for whatever and he was
I
a
love
piece of
that.
shit he was a piece of shit back then or whatever
Well, I guess
yeah
it must have been like so different when he was down there too. Cause like I was talking with Corum and Ray Scott, and I guess like, cause when the Democrats took over, I'm assuming this is when that happened, like a bunch of legislators went across the street and like,
oh yeah
yeah.
I
And so,
remember that so yeah my dad was out by then but I remember that vaguely happened but
yeah, he was saying there was like 3 to 4 legislators like in an office, like with all of their aides and stuff. I was like, that would have been awful.
yeah
But
oh
no.
yeah, the Capitol building was awesome back in 1876. It's
Yep.
so old. It's just so old. Like nothing breathes in there. It just smells musty
Oh,
everywhere.
I had to go down there last week and I was like, oh my God, it's so hot.
Yeah. Oh, can you imagine what it'd be like in DC? Like where it's a
Oh,
literal fucking swamp.
I couldn't
I
imagine.
I was in DC. It had been like late July, early August when I was. I don't know. It was pre 9/11 days. Like that's dating me. You know, I was. I think I was like. I think I went. Well, the last time I went to back east was in 2001 because I was on the top. I forget if it was the north or the south tower. 1 month. I was there August 11th,
Oh my
2001.
gosh.
Yeah, and that freaked me the fuck. I haven't been back to that part of the country since, but and I had a free ride to just go back and have a pretty cushy summer every year is kind of as long as I wanted to, and I just but like that. I mean, obviously that freaked me the fuck out. Of it. I'm gonna stay out of the city.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I've never been out like I think the farthest east I've been is like maybe Columbus. It's like not my vibe.
Ohio,
Yeah,
yeah,
not my vibe.
yeah. That's still pretty well normal America.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, East Coast is a different vibe. But I really haven't been out there much. Well, I guess since I went I went from I think seventh, eighth, and ninth grade. I went out east, and we stayed. The people we stayed with were on Long Island Sound, so just outside of New York City. We spent some time in the city itself, and then we were all up and down the East Coast. No, we went from D.C. We went up to Hyde Park to see the FDR residence, and like saw everything in between. Like I was really fucking lucky. We saw some cool shit,
That's cool.
and yeah, it's just such a big big divide from like those type of people to like where we live or where we grew up. and like I don't know. Like there's hard to even find like a starting ground, like where you find a little bit of common ground, because you're just so like you're like I don't even know where to start. You know, like you guys we're so far off on everything, and I'm sure it's the same way with them. Like trying to explain to them how raising cattle works, and you're just like and I'm sure it's the same way with like how do you do what you do in a city? Like I don't know, like that's a big bridge you have to cross there.
I have a buddy that I made down at the Capitol. He's from Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and
Aston.
literally that's what we talk about all the time. I'll like say something, and he's like, "What?"
Mm-hmm.
And I like have to go in and explain like what this means. And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah, it's wild. Like it's but like that's one of those things about college that I I don't necessarily recommend everybody go to college, but like that's what I say. Like go find a job in a college town,
Yeah,
and go sit through a few classes, even if you're interested or not. Just go sit through, because if nothing else, especially like where like you're a little closer to the big city growing up than I was. Like I grew up out way out in the fucking middle of nowhere. Um, but compared to like some of these yokels out in Nevada, I'm almost a city kid compared to where they grew up, you know,
really.
and you know, so it's all relative, but um, I would have never just encountered so many different people uh, from different walks of life if I would have never been in Fort Collins. And Fort Collins is a pretty goddamn white town, but like you can meet people from all over the world
Yeah,
if you try hard enough there, and that's something that really can't be replaced. Like you're not gonna find that in Johnstown, America. You're not gonna find that in Walsh, America. And just same way, they're not gonna find somebody like us in New York City. You know, like
yeah,
it's I don't know. That's one thing I can't recommend enough about college. But at the same time, it's like, oh, be careful because you could really spend a lot of fucking money if you're not careful.
yeah. I don't know. I almost transferred to Wyoming to like
Mm,
finish up my animal science degree, and like part of me still wishes I did, and like I don't know. For CSU is just like so not what I was expecting, especially like on the ag front. I don't know. And
I
maybe just I was too close growing up, so
all right,
close, but
all right. Well, we're gonna have a Patreon secret here, Reagan, because I've secretly become more and more of a YO fan as the more years I get out of college, because I just look at the shit that CSU is doing, and I'm just like, I'm not ever gonna donate money to that shit. Like
yeah,
I don't like they would have to do like a 10-year campaign of doing good stuff before I'd ever consider actually donating to them. Like it's like no, I paid you guys a lot of money, and now you guys are just doing some stupid shit. And then I look at Wyoming, and I've always said like that's the friendliest rivalry in America is CSU Wyoming, because we'll
yes,
talk so much shit, and then drink so much beer together, and you'll maybe see one fight, maybe, but like no, it's just like it's such a it's two ag kids going at it,
yep,
and then and it's like I've always loved that rivalry, and then like the more and more as I get older and I see how the politics going, I'm just like I'm more of a Wyoming Cowboys fan than I am a CSU Rams fan, and I love I love my buddies, I love my time at CSU, but I can't freaking stand CSU anymore.
When I was there, the College of Ag was the smallest school. The vet school was even bigger than the College of Ag.
No shit.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was like,
uh,
wow.
yeah,
And I mean,
see, that's like what University of Nevada has become. The Ag College used to be the biggest college at UNR, and now it's like barely holding on. And that
yeah,
I feel like that's how it is with CSU anymore. And yeah, as much as I hate to say it, like Wyoming's thriving, and like I like Wyoming. I've always like I had a little soft spot in my heart for Wyoming. I just I like them, and then now I just like, and even in college, like I would talk so much shit, but I couldn't wait to just like go either to a house party or a bar with those guys, and just because like they were cowboys like us.
yeah,
And we'd talk so much shit during the game, and then we'd just go get fucked up. You know, just like have a good time, you know. And like I love the Wyoming rivalry, and now I'm just like I feel jealous of the YO guys. Like I don't feel like I just don't feel that same thing with CSU anymore, and I hate to say that.
yeah. Have you been to the new stadium yet on campus?
No, I haven't. I want to. I'm gonna go for the border war one year and see
Yeah,
how like see if I still really feel. But you know, like they banned Fum Song my sophomore year of college.
really?
Yeah, yeah, because people got upset by it, and we're like, are you fucking kidding me? Who's upset by it? Everybody that's not at CSU. So who
Yeah.
cares? Like nobody that makes a difference is upset by it. Fuck them. No, no, they just banned it. It was so dumb.
Yeah, I don't know. I went to like I think one or two games at Hughes and then like new stadium time and it's not the same. I don't know.
Hughes Stadium was so fun. I you know, and especially looking back on it now, like they should have just left it. Like we're never gonna be a top tier football school.
No.
Like we might be a pretty good basketball school, but we're not. We're still not gonna be a top tier. We were begging to get into to the Big 12, and the Big 12 was trying to die at the same time. So like even if we did get into Big 12 and they die and they're like, oh, do you think we're gonna get into Big 10 now? Fuck no, no. They're just like we're still the Mountain West. We're still what we are. So like let's just be a home wrecker. Let's go do something. And the best way to do it is at Hughes Field. Like fuck you. We'll like you got 50,000 fans. Fuck off. We can only do 30,000. Fuck you. Come play in our pasture.
Yeah.
And let's get as much talent as we can because Fort Collins is a fun fucking town. Like we could have done really well with some of the with some really good talent that maybe be kind of dumb, you know. Maybe they're not going to make it to Florida or Ohio State, but hey, don't matter. Come over here. We'll do it. Come play on the foothills. No, they didn't do that.
No, it's yeah. And you have to like leave campus by like 2 on Fridays
No
for
shit.
game days. Like even if you live on campus. I'm like, I would be so pissed.
Oh, no. Like we used to have to wait in line between Drake and Overland on like Mulberry. You'd be either on Mulberry or Prospect, and then you'd be at between Drake and Overland, and just like waiting, and yeah. And now it's all like right there by campus. I don't know. Like I liked Hughes Field or Hughes Stadium. I guess it was Sunny Lubick Field at Hughes Stadium is what they finally called it. But yeah, I just I don't know. I liked it because like we could have we were never gonna be the big dogs, and but we kept trying to be, and it's like, no, why don't we be like the really scrappy underdogs? Like,
Yeah.
go find a couple really top tier talents, and and uh and then be the spoiler, because we were never gonna be the big dogs. But I don't know. Fort Collins is a fun town. I hope shit goes back to normal at some point, because Fort
Me
Collins
too.
is a really fun town to drink beer in.
I think, when I was up there, like, now I haven't hit the bars, like, probably since before, like, everything shut down. So I
Yeah,
don't know what, like, the bar scene is like, but I mean, campus was pretty normal when I've been on campus, and, like, there haven't been a lot of masks. Like, everything's pretty open.
yeah.
Oh, maybe
It
there's hope.
that's the way Red Rocks felt like. Yeah, like there was like a disclaimer, like it's all dependent on the venue, COVID, blah 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 blah. But like you get there and nobody give a fuck,
Yeah.
and it just, and then then it was Turnpike playing, so you're just like, shit feels right, you know. Um, yeah, I think I don't know. It seems like there's a few big cities trying to bring that shit back, but I don't see it happening.
I don't either.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I don't see it. I don't see it catching on. Are you a Broncos fan?
Kind of. When I was growing up, I really was, but just kind of
Yeah,
lost touch with it.
yeah. Well, all right. We won't waste any time on that
Yeah.
then. What else you got going on in your life?
Not a lot. Lots of
No.
concerts.
Yeah.
Have a pretty good concert lineup.
Yeah. What's your lineup look like? Because I got a pretty good one
Yeah.
coming on. Or like I had one, but I got a pretty good summer lineup. So what do you got?
We had Jason Bolin on Thursday. That
Oh
was
yeah.
pretty good. That
Where
was a
at?
good concert. The Moxie,
Where's that at?
really.
The Moxie.
10 out of 10 recommend. It's probably my favorite venue.
I bet it's I don't remember what it was called back in the day, but I bet it's the same place. All right. Jason Bolin. Yeah, that guy's awesome. All right. So what else you got?
Corblund next week.
Where at?
The Coast in Fort Collins.
Where's the coast?
I have no idea. Never even heard of it. So
Is the Aggie still a thing?
it is, and they were such Nazis about the COVID stuff.
Oh
Uh,
really?
I saw Reed Southall there last summer,
Uh-huh.
and like had to do the negative test, and like
No
had to walk
shit.
in with a mask, but then I like took mine off. I was like, this is no.
No shit. I
Yeah.
I didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
Huh. The Aggie was a place when I was in college. Like that was where all the Red Dirt folks came. And also we saw Method Man and Redman. Yeah,
Nice.
fucking Wu-Tang Clan, you know? Um yeah, so the Aggie is kind of gay, huh?
Aggie's kind of gay.
All right, so Wash Bar. Apparently that's like they've kind of cleaned their act up a little bit.
Apparently, yeah. I think Reckless Kelly's playing there soon. I was
Wash
gonna try and
Bar was the place to get raped back
Really?
when I was, yeah. Like I'm not saying it happened a lot, but if somebody got raped, it was probably at Wash Bar.
I wish my mom, when she was there like 85 to 89,
Is she hot?
84 to 89. My mom was, yeah.
Oh yeah. Pixar didn't happen.
She's probably on my social media somewhere.
I'll. I'm not gonna stalk that.
Thank you.
I,
I mean,
I don't need to know. I mean, it would be funny, but no, I don't care. I really
she's
don't care.
she's kind of a MILF, but
Well,
up to
now I'm back in. All right, I'm gonna stalk your mom. All right, whatever. Anyhow, all right. So I don't even know what we're talking about, but
Oh, Washington's was like the hangout. It was the
yeah.
place.
Oh
But
yeah.
she went to Thompson Valley in Loveland for high school.
Hmm.
So they would go up there for like 3-2 beers as well.
Yeah, I
So
heard that was a 3-2 beer. Or
yeah.
it was a 3-2 bar. Yeah. Yeah, Wash Bar when I was there was like that was the frat hangout, but also like the Mexican hangout and the shady black dude hangout and like it was barely respectable. Like yeah, you would have a lot of chicks there, but also like you wouldn't have been that surprised if they got their ass grabbed at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how Wash Bar was when I was there. Like it was not quite a shady establishment, but just right there.
Right on the verge.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been there. Just
They used to make a pretty good burger with peanut butter, which was weird, but
oh,
sounds
interesting.
weird, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, never. I wasn't on the north side too often though. So
Yeah, that's North Side Fort Collins is a little more like oil field type people than college type people.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what was I forget what that street was, but like right before the curve going into Jack's.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that was kind of the dividing line. Like
right there.
respectable Fort Collins versus white trash Fort Collins.
That's a perfect description too.
Yeah. Um. All right. So. All right. Let's go. Best white trash bar in Fort Collins. Like like if you're looking to just get real fucked up, and I wouldn't worry about the danger so much, but just like good old boys. Like you might get punched in the face, but you're not gonna get stabbed.
Probably Tony's.
Yeah, it's gonna smell like pee the whole time too.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good pool. And you know what? Tony's has been there the whole time. They were there
Yeah,
when I was a freshman in college in 2004, and they're still there today. They probably still smell the same.
they do.
And their on tap beer was Bud Light, and it was $1.50 a draft when I was there. I don't know what it is now, but yeah, it's a cheap sleazy bar, but it's been the same for 20 years now.
Oh, yes, I love it.
All right, so all right, let's go restaurants because I haven't been there. Is Chiba Hut still a thing?
Absolutely.
Are you a fan of the Chiba Hut?
I am.
I'm a
And
huge fan of the Chiba Hut. They're
especially like after 11 when they like have just straight like heavy metal blaring. I'm like, yes, this is my vibe.
see. I've never been to there when at that time of night. I've ordered from there plenty of times, but I've never actually like stood in line for it. Like I've done it at like say 5-6 o'clock at night, but I've never done it like after the bars.
Yeah.
There was some. It was a stupid name, honestly. I forget. It was. It doesn't matter. I know they're not in business anymore, but they made a good sandwich. But oh, how about DP Dough? Is DP Dough still around?
Absolutely.
How is it?
It's about the same.
Yeah,
Like
still
still good.
still solid.
Yeah, still solid.
Yeah,
Still
I like
deliver.
it.
Still take forever to deliver.
Yeah, they always did, but they would still. It might be 8 o'clock in the morning, and you ordered at 5 o'clock, but they would still deliver. Like
Yes.
they might be really late, but they would always deliver. Yeah. DPDL was good. Silvermine, how are they?
I don't think I ever went there.
No,
Still there though.
you're not missing much.
That's what I've heard.
It's just like a half step above Subway.
Yeah.
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 And you didn't have Farmer's Table, huh?
I think it's still there.
So
But I think it's like
but it's not a thing.
no.
It's
Well, not at
obviously
least for
a
my
thing.
crowd.
You coming from the ag college, it would have been a thing. So it's not a thing anymore, and that's
Is it Farmer's Table? Farmer's House?
the Farmer's Table.
It's still there. Oh, actually, it says it's closed.
What's on the menu? What or is it still up?
It's just pictures. There's meat.
Well,
I see a steak. I see bacon.
either way, you don't know about it, and that means they fell off, and that's disappointing. All right, well, Fort Collins, you guys need to, well, I guess whoever owns the Farmer's Table needs to saddle the fuck up because Fort Collins needs some good hangover food. Yeah, you're missing out. That was our go-to, all through college. Yeah. I know they changed hands like right after I graduated, and they legit tried to be a vegan restaurant for about 3 months.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and then they changed, and it was I don't know. I bet it's basically gone now.
I think there's like a farmer's house at like Jessup's Farm or something.
Where's that at?
I have no idea. I never went there because it was pretty vegan-y and pretty greeny.
Farmer's Table was at it was at Taft and Elizabeth.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Down it was like the what were those it was like the Ram's Horn or something apartments.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right over there by then, but like in that little shopping mall deal.
Gotcha.
That was where the Farmer's Table was, but
it might still be there then.
It might be. I don't know. They moved to a different place. No, nobody cares. Well, we can talk about this some other time. Like, nobody cares about our favorite breakfast place. But so, what did you think of your education at CSU?
I was very frustrated with it.
Yeah.
So,
which
animal science.
Yeah.
So I really was expecting like I wanted like ranching classes. I wanted beef industry classes. That's what I was expecting. And I still wanted, like live and dead and some poultry, some sheep and such. And it was fucking hard. Like
yeah.
Literally, like I remember like large animal anatomy was like once a week for like 4 hours. And we had to know like, we went like section by section, dissected the same goat all semester and just had to like know everything. I was like, this is not applicable to me and what I want to do with my life.
Yeah, nobody butchers goats.
No.
I mean, seriously.
And why do I need to know the parts of the eye?
And the people that do are all Mexican and they know how to do it and they don't need your fucking class.
Exactly. And like, I remember I was so excited to take breeding. I was like, yes, finally, some shit that's like my jam.
Yeah.
No, it was like advanced stats. There was nothing applicable.
I can clip that so hard and make you like really famous. I'm not going to, but like I mean, so I derailed you. It's all right. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, there was a lot of that though, and like just too hard for what it needs to be for like animal science. And then I was friends with a lot of girls who were soil and crop sciences. from like big farms. So like the Hirikata gal, the Calcivic gal, some of the biggest farms in the state who like dropped it because soil and crop sciences was just too inapplicable and just too hard for undergrad.
No shit.
So CSU's College of Ag had like a super big dropout rate because it was just, don't get me wrong, it's still a good school, still like a leading ag research school, but too hard.
Yeah. No, I don't know, like the more and more, like, and especially like when I see like the alumni shit that comes out of there, I'm just like,
Yeah.
like I don't understand it. I mean I do. More than anything, like I understand it, but I hate that there's that many more people in Colorado than there used to be. Like that
Oh, it's
people
awful.
that actually believe that bullshit. And yeah, like we have like for like a solid 2 generations have not even tried to educate people on like on food production, and now we're starting from you killed Bambi to trying to get them to accept it, and we're like like we're so far behind the 8 ball, it's not even funny.
I had my poli sci professors were pretty good, but I had history of political thought and then my poli sci capstone with this guy. And at the time when I was taking his class, I was on the seed stock team. So I was like, hey, like gonna be traveling a lot. Here's what I'm doing. It's university sanctioned, like it's cool. And he knew I was like an ag major and everything. And this is the only class I got up and walked out of. But he literally called like the animal science building, the animal death building, where we perform animal genocides. And I just got up and I left. I was like, no, dude, no.
Oh.
He's a professor who's saying that to a class. I was like, oh my God.
It's so dumb. Yeah, I don't even know where you start to begin anymore. And
no, I do think COVID helped when people were like, hey, I have no food. Maybe I should kind of learn where my food comes from and find some, but not enough.
That it was a pretty decent boon for I'd say the beef market, but like just the meat animal market in general. But then we also realized like how unprepared we are to deal with that without some place that does 5,000 head a day.
Yeah.
Or on the chicken side of things, like 30,000 head a day or whatever the hell it is they do. And just like, you hate to see that type of deal, but you kind of need it.
Yep.
Because would you rather, like, what do you hate more, watching a kid starve or watching a chicken die inhumanely? I'll live with the chicken 10 times out of 10.
For sure. I don't know. I think we might just like need to hit that point before things change. As morbid as that sounds, I thought COVID was going to take more of these people out, but apparently it didn't. So here we are.
I know. It's wild. It's a wild. I don't know. I really do think, and I don't care to speculate where it goes, but like this Ukraine wheat deal, I don't think we realize like how much of an impact that's gonna have on the worldwide type of shit, and it could get pretty bleak, come come December, January, that time of year. I don't know. I hope not, but like they're supposed to be cutting wheat right now, and they're they're not. They're fighting Russia. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's a whole weird deal too. I don't quite know how I feel about it. I haven't really been keeping up on it because I don't believe anything that I'm seeing or
no, oh
hearing.
well, and that's the best place to be. Is like I don't believe shit.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna tell me something, prove it, prove it.
Like, did we really just send so many of our big politicians over to a war zone?
Right, right. Are they actually parading around in Kiev? And if they are, why?
Yeah.
Why are we sending so much, so many arms to a country that seems to be relatively safe? Safe enough for the fucking president of the United States to go visit there.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, it's wild. Like, all right, so is there a green screen? How many green screens are there? And yeah,
Yeah,
I don't. It's wild, wild time to be alive, Reagan.
it
Wild
is.
time to be alive.
Yeah. Really loving my 20s, let me tell you what.
Yeah. Well, when do you hit 30?
I just turned 25, so I got a
You
while.
got five more years. All right. Well, a lot can happen in 5 years. Um, you might have like charcoal paint on your face and
I might.
sneaking through the brush to spear a rabbit or some shit. Who knows? 5 years is a long time.
It's, yeah, if we're at the same place, we've always joked that we'll have like a compound because we're on a hill.
Yeah.
Like, we got,
Right. Like I keep picturing that deal, but like then it gets way more expensive to buy land anymore, and you're just like,
oh,
I'm gonna have to take that land from somebody. You're like, ooh, better start doing some push-ups.
yeah, better start working out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Damn it, that's another subscription I don't want to buy. The
Man.
struggle of the millennial class.
Oh man.
Oh shit. Well, you got anything else, or are we good here? I think
I
we're
think
good. All right.
I think we're good.
All
I think
right.
we solved the world's problems.
I think so. I think so. I enjoyed the shit out of this, Reagan.
Me
It was fun.
too.
It was a fun time. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and move your ass for burning daylight. All right, I think we're out.